But know that the people who are making things happen in your business are the very people that are influencing directionally your business, up or down, negative or positive. That's just the way it is. Okay, buckle up. I'm going to tell you the 3 ways that businesses fail. They're very clear for me. I've seen it. I have the pattern recognition. I've seen it in every single struggling business that I've gone into. There's these 3 things that are always there. 3 things. And I'm not just going to tell you what they are. I'm going to tell you how to fix them. So I'm hopeful that if there's something you can take away from this, you may hit 1, you may check 2, you may check the 3rd box. Whatever it is, please leave this episode and make those adjustments in your business because it's not that complicated, but it does make a difference in whether your business is successful long term. I promise you. So the first is knowing your numbers. Many founders, many businesses, and even many department leads don't know their numbers. They don't know the numbers that matter for the business. There's a lot of reasons for this. Sometimes it's because they have an internal bookkeeper. The bookkeeper is just kind of, crunching numbers, but not really showing the numbers in a way that a leader can make decisions on them. So it's sort of hard for the leader to say when they see those trends. It's sort of difficult because they haven't been able to put a senior person in finance. Sometimes senior finance people don't give you the best view of your numbers, and you have to ask for them in a way that you can make decisions. So sometimes it's a matter of asking your head of finance, can I get like a, I don't know, a flash report, right? Something that just shows me the metrics that I can impact that can make a difference in my business, as well as the metrics that are whether red, yellow, or green, right? That sort of, I need to know what's going on with my business so that I can react on a monthly basis or a biweekly basis or however often you need to do that. But you're able to react versus waiting until you have no money. And then the reaction is, I need to go get a loan. I need to go find a partner. I need to rethink my whole business. What's going on? That's what I see happen a lot. Literally, they have no idea. I asked the founder, what's going on with your numbers? And they say, I don't know. I have a bookkeeper with that. I have no idea. All I hear is that we don't have the money to pay for this. We don't have the money to pay for that. And it's a real problem. It's a real problem, but it's very solvable. So that's the good news. So you need to know your numbers. Even the most simple way of knowing your numbers is important right now. I'm not asking you to become a finance executive. I'm just asking you to know your numbers. So that's the first one. Kind of obvious, but still missed in so many businesses. And every single business I've been in, that's been the case. Okay, the second one. You ever heard of that statement people always make? I tell my daughter this all the time. You're the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. This is a real thing. I mean, this is a real thing. Your business is the sum of the 5 people who have the most influence in it. That's the truth. So you need to know your people. If you are a founder, if you are at the helm, if you are the decision maker, and you don't know your people, you don't know their talent, you don't know whether they're in over their skis, you don't know whether they're the right person for the company. And I see this a lot. I see founders that have gotten the company so far, but they themselves haven't been doing the development. They haven't been learning, getting to the next level of what they need to know to truly sit in a C-level seat and help guide that business. And so they're not able to understand what the talent pool should look like in the company. If they have the right people, if they don't have the right people, they just don't know. Their pickers are off. They just don't know. It's just not their skill set. But that's a big thing. It's a huge thing because when I go into companies, I've worked with a lot of companies that have brought me in to transform their business because it's on the decline. I'm just going to be open and I'm really good at it. I've had the privilege of working with many businesses that aren't, that I can just help really, honestly, just grow from where they're at. And honestly, that's a lot of fun. But I've also gone into businesses where the founder has reached out and said, I need your help. I don't know what to do. And when I go into the company, I meet with everyone and literally almost every situation, everyone is disgruntled. There's probably, I mean, it's so crazy because I can go back and I can probably map them out. And I would probably say that they're all disgruntled for different reasons. Some of it's because they should have gotten a raise and they haven't gotten one. They didn't get their bonus and they think the bonus structure was taken away and they don't think it's fair because it's not their fault that the company's not doing well. Some of them are just frustrated because they want to learn and there's no one there to learn from because the founder is just not that person. And so they're frustrated because they're putting in a lot of time, a lot of effort, but they've reached their limit as far as how much they can develop. And so that's a real thing in companies, a real thing. And so when you look at this and you think it's the 5 people, right? And then you go into a company that's been in pain for a while, and those 5 people or 4 people or 3 people, whatever it is, are not happy, or they're just not the right people for the company. That's a big reason why businesses fail. And I'm not saying it's those people that cause businesses to fail, so please don't misunderstand me, but it's maybe the right people for the right time back when you were at X million, but maybe not the right people for right now. And that's a real thing. It just is, and I think a lot of times consultants aren't willing to come in and have those hard conversations. I have them because I want to be successful, and I would prefer that you engage with me for the shortest amount of time possible to help your business so that you can then get the results that you want. I don't want to create a dependency when I go into a customer, when I go work with a client. I don't want to create a dependency. My goal is to help them, enable their team, and move on, right? It's not to become a dependency. I think a lot of consultants don't understand that, yeah, there's the numbers are really important, right? Yeah, the processes and all of that, right? They can go through and create this beautiful slide deck of all the things that need to happen to fix your company. I can do the same thing. I can do the same thing. I know how to fix your company, but they forget that really important piece, which is the people are the company. And those people have to be the right people for the right time. And you got to solve that, because if you try to implement strategy and you don't have that people problem solved, you're going to be met with some resistance. You just will. And unfortunately, it'll be a lot harder to make those changes. So sometimes that means going in, understanding who can we develop, who can we move forward. Sometimes that's going in and helping people transition out because that's really what they want to do. They just haven't had the courage to say it. You have to figure that out. That's a really important soft skill that as a consultant, when you go into a company, you cannot forget or ignore that. You have to have that skill set. You have to know what is the right talent for this company. You can't bypass that because you're a business consultant. You don't do HR. It's just, I mean, you don't get a free pass. You just don't. You have to build teams. Those teams have to believe that you can move the business forward. And then those teams need to be empowered to move that business forward. And the only way to do that is to check that box, which is, the 5 people, right? Understanding the people in that business that's failing. And then the third one, many people won't think of this, but I see it, is siloed organizations, siloed businesses, where every department is its own silo, and every department has its own reason for the why it is, and they don't really understand the big picture, and they're not clear on what the goals are. They're not really clear on the revenue goals. There's sometimes founders don't want to share revenue because they have this thought that if they know how much I'm making, I'll have to pay them more. And my thought is, well, you should pay them what the market is. You should pay them what their job is worth. You should pay them because they're part of the contributing, they're contributing to your numbers. This should never be the reason why you don't show your team that's responsible for hitting these numbers. They need to know them. And I think that the more transparent you can be about that, the better chance you have that you have more people working towards the greater good of the business. And I think there's ways that you can do that without having to show them every single nook and cranny of your business, but being able to show them the vision of where we're going and what their portion of that vision, what their numbers look like, and how their job, if they're not responsible for numbers, but they have a job, how their job plays into that strategy, how their job helps move that strategy forward. You cannot have a business that's siloed and be a successful business. I know this because I've seen it. I see it break every time. I've seen businesses and categories that have been like literally straight line up because they are checking these boxes. And then I've seen businesses that may have better products, better brands that are straight down because they are not checking these boxes. And so the lack of integration is a real thing that has to be solved in businesses. And what does that look like? Here's what it looks like. What it looks like is having meetings to talk about the results of the business and making sure that the right people are in those meetings. And I'll give you a perfect example, e-commerce channel. If you have an e-commerce channel, you probably have a monthly results meeting. If you don't, please put that on your list of things to do. You need to be going through your results every month. What did we think was going to happen and what actually happened? And all of the other things, outliers around it that you can improve in that channel. That's the only way to be better. So if you have that meeting, you're going to immediately think, okay, well, finance is going to be there because they're going to bring the numbers. And the head of that department's going to be there because, they own that department, they own the results. But I'm also going to have the head of customer service there, right? Because I know customer service is a big part of any channel. And I want to know what's happening in customer service, what things are flowing to customer service that we should know about that could be inhibiting our customer lifetime value or could be bringing our return rates up, whatever it is. I want customer service at the table, not the whole team, but whoever is in charge of customer service. And what's great about this strategy, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how big your company is. If it's three people running the company, those three people should be at the table reviewing the results. And it could be a 1 hour meeting where each person brings their slides and finance is there, whoever owns the numbers, and the stories are being told about what's going on in the business. And decisions are being made about how to improve any of the friction in the business and also the wins in the business. Here are the things that are working. So let me give you an example. Customer service is at that table. You start talking about returns. Customer service said, yes, I ran a report. We took in 50 email requests to return this dress, whatever it is. Guess what? They're adding value because now that information can flow through to design, to product, and now they can solve that so that it doesn't become a bigger issue where the customer stops trusting the product because only customer service can give us that information. And I think it's a really important piece. They can also say, "Hey, this marketing initiative that you ran, even though it did really well, we had a lot of complaints about confusion about what the offer was. They didn't understand the discount code. It didn't work, whatever it is." Right? So having customer service at that table helps them feel like they're part of how do they solve and how do they achieve success in that channel. And I also love having someone from product at that table because you're talking about sales, you're talking about marketing, you're talking about results. But if the product's not selling and we can see that we have inventory levels, because that's one of the things you probably talk about, right? Is what's my open to buy and how does it look for the month? And were there any products that didn't sell? What's best sellers? What's worst sellers? What are we going to move to sale? I'm kind of rattling, but this is what should be happening in your meetings. And the person that's in charge of product is there, guess what happens? Now they have intel that they can bring back to their team and say, hey, we're having a lot of returns for this. I think there's a fit issue. Let's pull the tech pack. Let's pull the fits. Let's get some production and let's see if we can fix that because I want to make sure that we don't have this issue going forward. We just put this dress in 4 more colors in the next collection. We've got to fix it before we go back to production, whatever it is, right? So this is how you build a collaborative environment. Now I'm giving you that use case, but there's so many of those. And so many businesses don't share the why. When you roll out a new strategy and every person in the company, every leader in the company, every influencer in the company is going to be touching that initiative in some way, shape, or form. Having them at the table to explain to them what the strategy is and helping them feel part of it is also going to make people understand the big picture. Because I can't tell you how many times I've gone into companies and the person in operations will say, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know what they're promoting. I have no idea what our goals are. All I'm told is just ship the orders, get them out, don't make mistakes. I have no idea. And there's a couple things, right? Now they can't help you move the business forward, but they also don't feel like they're part of a team. And that's what builds resentment. And that's what makes people feel like, is this really where I want to build my career? Right. Because you need to feel like you're part of the big vision. And so I see that in every company that's failing, a lack of integration, silo departments, people not talking to one another. And some of that is because of some of the five and the frustration of not hitting their numbers. And what's really challenging in my role is when I come in, sometimes they've had other consultants in there that have not been able to fix it. And so I've got to get their belief up. And there's a lot of selling in the sense of I'm going to fix this and showing them how because I'm a collaborator. I want to show them the big picture because I need them. I cannot fix it on my own. I need them. I need their buy in. And that's the same thing with company results. So if you are a company that is stagnant or on the decline, make sure you check these boxes. Make sure you know your numbers, even in the most basic sense, and you're looking at those numbers. and make sure that you know the sum of the 5 people that are influencing your business, right? And depending upon the size, it could be more, but know that the people who are making things happen in your business are the very people that are influencing directionally your business, up or down, negative or positive. That's just the way it is. And then, are you integrated? Are you sharing the big picture with your teams? Are your departments at some way integrated so that you people can understand that the results tie not to just sales and marketing, but there are other people at the table that are helping drive those results so that people can, one, feel like they're part of the big picture, but two, bring you insights to help you hit those numbers. If you're doing those three things, I promise you, you're going to be successful. You really will. It would be really difficult not to be. And when you're doing those three things, you're able to focus on your product more because you don't have all of the noise in the business that you probably have now. If these three boxes are not checked and you're having a lot of challenges, that probably a lot of the noise comes from getting these three boxes checked. And it's as simple as get your numbers in order, know who's in your company. And if you don't know, bring someone in that can help you evaluate and understand what's going on in your company culturally, the people, if they have what they need to be successful. Sometimes you find diamonds in companies that people think are the underperformers. And I realize they're not underperformers. They're just they need better leadership. They need better direction. They need to be developed. And they become literally future presidents of that company because they are entrepreneurs. They are people that live in the company that treat that company like it's theirs. And then integrating your business. I'm not talking about having a million meetings. I'm talking about having the results meetings that you need to have so that people understand what's happening with your company for better or for worse. Celebrate the wins, but understand where do you need to be better and get the buy-in and get their help. Because I tell you, those are the very people that are going to help you dig out of the issue, like whatever hole you're in. Those are the people that dig you out, or those are the people that dig the hole deeper because they just don't know and they haven't been told that they matter in the company. So I'll leave you on those three. That is the most, honestly, it's a breakthrough for you if you have this. And if you have a consultant that's working with you, I recommend you have them watch this because they might not even be thinking about it this way. But because I've had too much experience and I've never failed at turning around a company, I can tell you that. I'm so proud of that. I never give up. But because of that, when other consultants have probably left because they said, I can't get the results, and probably that founder said that was a waste of money, they probably didn't have these three buckets that they checked before they started and said, how are we doing in these three areas? And how do we get these areas in a better position? And then start with the how of fixing the company. So I'll leave you on that note. I hope you have a wonderful day and I'll talk to you soon.